between a 75 and an 85?
Isn't that the 68.26?
It really is. It really is. But how if I didn't know that?
Would you do
This is called the empirical rule, by the way.
the one?
So this is empirical rule, meaning that this is 68.26, this is 95, okay? But nobody actually ever memorizes that. But we could do it how? Tell me
You
what you
would
think.
find what's ahead of the plus one and then what's behind the minus one and then add them and subtract them.
Oh, that's a groovy way to get there. I like
No.
it. No, I like it. That's a good way. I say because this
Oh,
chart,
oh.
yeah.
You do the 85, you find that, and then you just multiply it by 2, and then you just do 1 divided.
So if I did
Let's do
85 would bring me all the way back to that. That would give me a,
Can
like
I do it
a.
the other way, like find the right side of 85, and then multiply by 2?
That's exactly what she was saying in,
Oh.
in her own right. No, that's
Would
that's.
you do what's
She's
behind
saying
80?
find this, and then subtract it
Yeah.
from 1. That's another way to
Would you
do
do
it.
what's behind 85 and then you would subtract what's behind 75 from that?
Yes. So she's saying go 85 all the way back, right?
Yeah.
Find 75, which is the same as 85, all the way back, and then subtract the 2. Let's see how that looks. Okay, let's see what that looks like. How am I going to find 85? Go ahead and look for the positive 1, 1.0. What's my percentage? 8413. And I'm going to subtract. Now, remember, I cannot do negative 1. It's a no-go. So I'm going to flip it over here to positive 1. However, I'm not looking for the big chunk. I'm looking for just a little piece there, right? So go to positive 1, find the big chunk, and do what with that answer? Subtract it from 1. So minus 1 minus 0.8413. That is going to get you there. Or you could find the little chunk, add them together, subtract it from 1, and you got your same answer. What's the answer for this?
0.6826.
Is that surprising?
No.
Because what did I tell you with the empirical rule? I actually told you it was 68.26%, right? How do we feel about it? No? Yes? Are we cool? The chart is not, like, it looks scary when you first get it at the beginning of the year. Y'all are like, whoa, what's this? But it's really not bad. That stuff on the inside is actually the meat of it, that the 4 decimal digits are your percentages. So now I need to know, because we've been pretty good about we've been really good about figuring out like 1.0, 2.0, that sort of thing. How does that look if it's kind of a little different than that? So for example, what if I was looking for 1.82? Okay, go on your Z chart, look on the column under the Z on the right, on the left, all the way on the left. I want you to go to 1.8, okay? So kind of scroll your finger down to 1.8. Now, across the top there are a set of numbers, right? The 1.8 are your first 2 on that column, that first column. The 2, you're gonna go across the top and look for where the 2 happens. So you're gonna go from 1.8 and the 2 and come together. And where do they meet? Okay, so that is the percentage of 1.82. Okay, you see how that works? So you go to 1.8 along that column on the left, you go across the top. What happens if I do this to it now? 1.823. Okay, that's a little different. I want you to go to the 1.8 like you did a second ago. I want you to go to the 2 like you did a second ago. And you're going to tell me once again, it is 1.82 is 0.9656, right? 0.9656. Now here's the dilemma. At the very end, you have another number. What's that other number? Well, it's a 3. So go to the section all the way to the right where it says add. Do you see that little blue section? What's the number that we're going to add to the back of that? Well, it's a 3. That's what's given. So from the top, I want you to go from the 1.8 and then over here where it says a 3, I want you to come down and I want you to meet the 1.8. So 3 on the very the very right, the 1.8, come down and meet. What's the number it says to you?
2.
It does. Okay, what we're gonna do with that 2 is we're going to add it to the very last number. So it's 0.9658 is the percentage you're looking for. What do you think? Now, sometimes there are some really nice ones. Let's say 0.95. So go ahead and look up 0.95. Go ahead and try to master this thing. Look for 0.9. Go over to the 5, and what do you get?
1.6.
Point 8289.
So 0.82 what? 89. Okay. Now, that's cool. What if I told you I want to give you that your probability is 0.95? That's a little different. I'm not telling you your z-score is 0.95. I want to look at your probability. So you're going to go into the meat of the chart, because remember your 4-digit numbers are your probabilities. And I want you to go until you see 0.95 or something close to it without going over. I feel like I'm on Price is Right. Okay, so you're going to look for 0.95. If you can't find 0.95, you're going to go as close as you can without going over. So we're looking for 0.95 without going.
1.64.
1.65.
Can't go over. Can't go over. Right?
1.64 had 0.
Yeah.
So what was it that it gave me? It gave me, so,
Bro, you gotta define 0.95.
go ahead, yeah, read it to me. 1.64.
Yeah.
Now, what was the actual 4-digit number that we come up with? 0.9495?
Yeah.
Is that what I needed?
Nah, you gotta add 5.
Oh, I do, because I'm a little off, right? So you go into the meat of this and you look for, along the route,
5.
the 1.6. It wants me to add the 5, right? Are we cool? So I'm looking to add 5 more to it. So you come straight up. And what's going to be at the back end of this thing? A 5. Okay? So if percentages is what you're given, you're going to look for z-scores. Okay? So you have to get to the exact z-score. We're trying to add 5 more to it. So you look for the add 5, you come up, and that goes to the back end of it. Now, something cool about this, go to the bottom of this chart. You guys see at the very bottom, they actually have ones that are commonly used. If you look for the probability of 0.95, what do you get? 1.645. Now, they're not always given, but in
It's just a negative.
ACE Math 2, Stats 2, we use that bottom part quite a bit. That bottom part becomes our friend. Okay? Are we cool so far? All right, sweet. Now, in the perfect world, we'd have a million charts with numbers that went negative and positive and bigger than 2.9, but we don't. So what happens if I don't know what what standard deviation things are located at? What happens if I don't know all the data that's on the chart? We have the opportunity to create the z-score. So there's a formula that I'm going to give you. It is not on your bright colored sheet of paper. Unfortunately, you have to memorize this one. It is x minus the mean over the standard deviation. Let me tell you, this thing means standard deviation. And mu means the mean. Okay, normally what's going to happen is I'm going to say, listen, I'm giving you information and it's normally distributed. Normally distributed means it looks like it should fall in a bell curve. And oftentimes, they're gonna make it look like this. They're gonna give you a mean, and then they're gonna give you the standard deviation squared, also known as the variance, right? So the mean and the variance. Usually that's what they'll give you. So on this original thing, yes, go
So
ahead.
what is that called? The bottom line?
That's your normal, a normal distribution. Normal, sorry, I didn't say that. I said it. A normal distribution.
So X minus N.
X minus mu,
Oh,
the mean, over standard deviation.